Map number 1, Battlefield of Eternity, the playoffs. We're in the winner bracket. The Internal Conflict, Season 1, and we get the Gremlins up against Exodia Light. Score is 0-0, by the way. Sorry, I'll adjust the overlay in a moment over here. Yeah, we went from one game into the next pretty quickly. So, obviously the first map, again, we have a 0-0 score right now, and BOE is map number 1. Now, we haven't seen Exodia Light in quite a bit. I've always been talking about the new patch and the impact that it had on gameplay. Now, keep in mind that the patch kicked in when Group B was playing, so all the teams that found themselves in Group A of the tournament haven't played on the new patch yet. We've obviously gotten a very good glimpse of what's currently working and what doesn't, but since this is still all very new and teams will approach the patch very differently, we are most likely still going to see different strategies as all of this continues. We've seen a lot of global strategies, we've seen some Asmodan play, we've seen Illidan even once, a couple of Cho'Gall picks, even a Viking pick has finally happened. So there's lots of stuff going on, but these are obviously very, very different players right now, and especially from the blue team, we could see the occasional odd strategy out there, especially of course with Masquerade rocking the front line and playing the tank for them. Now, it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to BOE first, which also means that a lot of the damage dealers that are usually being played on the map are getting banned out. That includes Li Ming and Hanzo. This is obviously being played for 1,500 euros currently, which is the prize pool of the tournament. There's no draft restrictions, so you can pick whatever you want as we're progressing through all of this. And, well, with the best of 5, we should get a lot of fun here. We have some amazing games, not only in the... First of all, group stage was incredible. Especially once that the new patch kicked in, what the teams were trying to pull off in Group B and in the last chance qualifier was pretty incredible. And then on top of that, we also had the playoffs. I mean, the previous series that we had in the winner bracket was just absolute delight. If you haven't seen that yet, then you should check it out. Raccoons against Rip was glorious. Some really, really cool stuff. Blaze gets picked as the first pick, and then we have on the other side Dehaka and Muradin. For me personally, it's actually kind of funny to see Dehaka on Battlefield of Eternity again. This really reminds me of the good old days before HGC. Before HGC was a thing, Dehaka was a staple on Battlefield of Eternity, and back then it was for a very different reason than today, because the way that experience was gathered and dealt with was a bit different. The whole idea behind having Dehaka on BOE back then was, and I'm not joking, to keep Dehaka on the side lane while the objective kicked in. You got an early level 10 for your team, and then with that you try to win the objective, snowball it a little bit, and then just progress being ahead throughout the entire match. So that's not quite what we're seeing here this time, but should still be interesting. Vala also being played now. Could be an arrow build, could be an auto attack build. Both of them are totally viable. It depends a bit on how exactly you want to approach the map. Are you more looking at the team fights and trying to take the opponent down before you go for the Immortal? Or are you parking Vala next to the Immortal and just hammer away with arrow after arrow to blow that thing to smithereens? So we'll see how exactly she's going to play that out. I'm kind of smiling here because honestly this should be a cool series. The Gremlins had some amazing games that they played. Exodia Light, super strong team of course, also always willing to throw a bit of a curveball, especially when we're talking about their frontliners. So there could be some really, really fun plays that we're getting from them. One of the heroes that I have actually been missing a little bit so far, ever since we had the patch come in, is I think Tychus. Less Tychus players, even on Infernal Shrines. Not really someone that I would expect here. But we get Medivh again. Medivh has been played a lot in the playoffs. We have Malfurion by Banana H, and that leaves us with Nano as the final pick. Now, 2 of Nano's picks have now been eliminated. He obviously is extremely strong on Chromie, also on Hanzo. Now, Junkrat gets picked away from him too, really forcing him a little bit out of those top 3 that he usually tries to get, where he has the biggest impact with. I'm not trying to say that you can ban him out or anything, but those are the 3 that if he has a choice, he's going to go for them. Degard Kane is in, and for map number 1, that leaves us with the final choice as we're heading into the series, and it's Greymane. With the support from Medivh, this could get wild. So, BOE, map number 1, everybody. It's a best of 5 series. We are in the winner bracket of the playoffs. The Gremlins going up against Exodia Light. The blue team on the left, Exodia Light on our first map with Hazorbs on Junkrat. Yazu playing Deckard Cain. We got on Blaze, Bloodcool on Vala, and Masquerade on Garrosh. Over on the right side of the map, it's the Gremlins with Simply playing Muradin. We got Gavlo and Greymane, Nano and Medivh, Sadath with Dehaka, and Banana H is playing Malfurion. So, this should be a pretty cool one over here. I mean, that entire series is gonna be spicy, I would assume. Exodia Light had a fantastic run in their group stage. The Gremlins with some pretty strong games too. So I would assume that we are going to have a pretty fun one on our hands here. And by the way, not 100% certain if this here, if Unk is really Copenhagen or not, if that's one of his Smurfs. I mean, this is one of the problems that we always have, that there's just too many Smurf accounts throwing around, but nobody has said anything about a sub unless I missed a message somewhere. So I'm working under the assumption that this is actually Copenhagen. Down at the bottom of the map with the 2-3 split that we're getting, we have now some quick aggression with Deckard Cain controlling the choke point. Vala has indeed decided to go into an arrow build, so we're not going to get any auto attacks here. All working around that level 7 talent. As all the way up at the top lane now, we're having the pleb horse for Banana Age. I think he's always been riding that one. But yeah, Medivh, we're keeping an eye on him with the baseline, obviously, so that's going to be one of the big things for Nano. I think it's part of the reason why we had a bit of a split happening from the blue team too. Vala is, of course, going to try and stack her level 1 as best as she can. Level 7 is only going to get ready for the second objective, so during the first one you're usually not able to get too much of an impact from the arrow build. Just in general, it really unfolds later, but the more you stack it in advance, I mean, the better. Bloodcool, if anything, is currently a little bit short on this. I mean, we're 1.5 minutes into the game right now, and we have so far only one single arrow that connected here. Finally, number 2 hits home. Muradin at the front eats it. Yeah, that was a bit of a concern there. Now, we haven't seen too much Battlefield of Eternity in the new patch yet. There weren't any big changes that affect the map directly. We have, of course, some general changes, like the duration of the experience globes that got reduced on lane, or the increased health of structures that still play a role. And I suppose the same is true for the Inspire buff, because if you have an Immortal, normally you have at least 1 or 2 waves of minions that also move in with you. So the entire pushes with the objective are now technically stronger and can help you to take structures down faster. Mitigated to an extent, of course, by the HP buff, the health buff that I just pointed out. I mean, with this right now, we got Banana H still playing around here with Gavlo on the camp. The objective obviously now announced, and the blue team is doing the same. It's only Muradin that is trying to sneak past a little bit and do his thing. Down at the bottom of the map, Nano, yeah, he's sitting at 10 stacks currently on the baseline. And Medivh is just such an annoying hero to have, honestly. We're getting on top of that also Sledgehammer, so the idea being that you get some additional damage in from Muradin right there. And of course you have the cooldown reduction and 2, so there's a couple of bonus points there for that. Gavlo, he's going to be the big one. If you have Greymane on the Immortal, he can absolutely wreck it. Vala now with 4 arrows. Could connect a few more here. It's a little bit stingy sometimes on that cooldown, but we get another connect with Muradin. And that's number 5 now. Be careful of that root, but nobody is actually attacking the red team's Immortal just yet. It's just the continuous one. Ah, there we go. Vala's making a move over, so she's going to be the one working the attacks, and as the rest of the team defends as best as they can. Experience is identical, not a single kill so far. Everybody playing it very cautiously in the game number 1. But one of the things that they need to do is to control Greymane, or they're going to lose this one. And the halftime show is already in favor of the Gremlins. Gremlin... Greymane. He's a gremlin in this game, I guess. But yeah, Greymane is the one that is gonna wreck the Immortal time and time again for them. At least if they can get him onto the objective in one form here. For Vala, it's really level 7 that's needed. And she has at least a repeating arrow. Oh, this could be a kill on Medivh. Medivh is low, and he's gone. So, Medivh eliminated, and that means, of course, that all of the stacks are lost. Vala is currently capitalizing very heavily on that fight. Now, the objective, they are losing out on it, but as long as I get her level 7 right now, she will also play a huge role on defense. For Medivh, This kind of situation is a little bit annoying. He was halfway done with his quest as he was killed. So Medivh gone, losing 19 stacks. Vala now has 10 and indeed has her level 7. So when it comes to Immortal defense, Vala is going to have a pretty big impact once that she arrives, because currently we have her traveling back towards the lane. But yep, it is arrow time right now. So Vala is starting to connect a few. Muradin! He gets the portal. I was just about to say, Garrosh with the perfect play to make that defense even easier, but then we have the portal from Medivh. And that's actually one of the cool counters when you're up against Garrosh. When he starts creating those opportunities, you can shut them down again with a shield and a portal. The wall destroyed, but the fort is still looking pretty good, only losing a few hit points. And Vala, of course, got some additional stacks that she gets here. She will get more and more damage on that initial hit, and it's not only something that you can use against the Immortal, obviously. Later on, you can absolutely wreck heroes if you just pin them down with one arrow after another. The same is obviously true, or even more so, after you hit level 20 and then you get Acrobat, for example. So she can do a whole lot with that. If you're diligent around stacking this, the damage is nasty. Just ask Chris Heroes. He's the one that loved nothing more but a good Vala arrow build and played that time and time again. I suppose at this point I have to hand out bonus points if you know who Chris Heroes is. It's been a while. But yes, for the old boys during the HGC times, they will still be familiar with the name. It was kind of funny to me the other day. I think it was on Reddit, and I just read through a couple of comments around the new patch, and somehow people started talking about HGC. And it turned out that quite a lot of the people within that thread apparently joined Heroes or started playing Heroes after HGC. Which is a wild thought to me. Makes total sense, but it was a really alien thought to me at the time. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Either way, Garrosh with the quest completed. We have still Vala with 20 stacks now, getting more and more done here. I mean, Vala is honestly capitalizing on this massively. Masquerade, on the other hand, yeah, he's down. Died for good cause, I'd say. And Vala, Rain of Vengeance. Yep, Rain of Vengeance for Vala. Both teams on level 10 abilities. The Immortal is spawning in 4. And one of the problems is, of course, that Garrosh isn't quite back yet. Muradin comes in and applies pressure right away before they can take that camp. So yeah, now it's Vala's time to really get those arrows in, which is exactly what we're seeing. So one arrow after another, and look how quickly she burns that thing down. It's honestly insane. Vala's damage on the Immortal with a good arrow build and halfway decent stacks on level 1 is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So she wins it basically for Exodia Light. They are of course attempting to turn on her quickly. 21 stacks now. Riptire's coming out too. Muradin through the portal. And the objective is back up on the map. Bottom fort of the red team has taken a lot of damage too, by the way, I might add here. Yeah, Blood Cool with the 21 stacks. I mean, if you can eat a few... well, that one went nowhere. One of the problems that you're gonna have eventually is obviously mana too. So... yeah. As long as Vala still has enough mana, she's going to be totally fine here. But she would obviously hope to add more stacks as they are defending their own Immortal and the Gremlins are starting to push in for it. So this is pretty much happening. I mean, right now it's a kill for a kill. They're insanely close at this point. I mean, yeah, they're very, very close. De Haag at the bottom of the map currently. Easy retreat for Sadath here in the middle. Still Garrosh trying to give them some chances to retreat on this. Leyline is out, alright. Now the fight starts to explode a little bit as they're starting to make their move. We have Malfurion drop pretty much immediately, and Vala was able to work a few more arrows in. They're taking full control of the area around the objective and go for the Immortal now. So that's some big damage, easy hits, and that's a 50%. 50% on the shield for the Immortal. They can another hit on Muradin, and Vala adds some additional hits very, very easily. Gets the stacks on top of that now too, so yeah, they're looking great here. They get an Immortal with a 50% shield. They're playing around the opponent's camp and are trying to steal that away now too. Masquerade is there, and the more that the red team keeps fighting, the more Vala can stack, which obviously helps her later on. They're getting a kill against Blaze though. That's the one consolation trophy that they were able to get for themselves here. But that's all that they were able to do. 2 kills to 2, and with the top fort being attacked, we're now having the bottom of the map being focused as well. So they're starting to immediately coming into this with an attempt to take another major structure out. And honestly, they're getting additional stacks against Serdath down here too. Vala is now at 28 stacks. They get the fort. That means that both of the forts are now eliminated. Gavlo is the only one that is still sitting up at the top. But that was exactly what they needed. That was pretty fantastic right there. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that when you think about it. So they were able to make the play for fort number 1 and 2. Have now pressure on both of the lanes. They will get additional XP through the passive experience gains. And on top of that, they use that opportunity to get more and more stacks in for Vala as well, which will benefit them on the next objective too. Both teams on level 13. And once again, it's the Haka who's in trouble and trying to get out. Leyline from Medivh, another tool to attempt to save him here. So far, so good. But they need way more than that. The damage output, Vala's at 33,000. She's the uncontested champion so far in the game. Greymane on 17,000. Then on top of that, we have 30,000 for Junkrat. But there's very, very little that the red team can currently do, it seems, in those fights. Not a lot of kills, though. And again, as there is not such a big gap in experience between the two teams, the Gremlins can definitely bring this back. So it's not that all hope is lost here or anything. But they need to have, yeah, I don't know. They need to have some big team fight where they can make a big play, or this is all going to slowly start to fall apart for them. I mean, if you think about it right now, we have the objective spawning, and if it's lost on the Gremlin side, then the chances are that they're losing one of their keeps here. So this would be a disaster already. But we have instantly the Immortal coming in, and Vala is of course going to wreck this one with 30 stacks to her level 1. She's getting a lot of burst damage out there. It's not the biggest gap between them, but a 4,000 HP gap on the shield already just after that little encounter. That's kind of telling you all that you need to know here. They're setting with an initial defense up again over on the left side as they claim their own camp too. Bloodcool with level 13 went for Gloom. 16 is obviously going to be another power spike for them, but here comes Muradin with a stun, and Vala adding a few more arrows to the mix. Sitting at 32 now and just keep them coming. Going for the Haka, and another arrow soon to be thrown out here against Gavlo, I suppose. Who dodges out on number 1, but there's a bit more coming. The red team is pushing very aggressively now though. They know that they are the ones that are under pressure and that they have to make a play. So they're doing their best here. There's the ult from Deckard, okay. We go again for Muradin. Arrows all around, and the portal saves simply. But this fight isn't over. And Malfurion, he gets the shield as he pops his ult. Tranquility to save the rest of the team. Vala slowly retreating, getting arrow after arrow out. Sitting at 36 stacks with the bunker in play. The red team pushing for the Immortal again. The jet propulsion just misses, barely. But this could have been a kill or maybe even a double kill for Exodia Light. The blue team still slowly pushing, as we have 29 stacks also for Medivh. So he's getting closer to his quest completion too. Ooh, Vala dodging out on the Stormbolt. 37 stacks for her now, so working more and more damage in with these. And going for the Immortal as intended. So this boy is gone. And that's another objective, a huge win for Exodia. But they're not done with the team fight yet. Simply is going in, trying to attack. Masquerade might be in trouble. They're focusing him heavily. Masquerade low and survives the fight. Masquerade able to get out of the fight. No kill on either side, as at the bottom of the map the wall has taken some damage. And now it's the push through the top lane that the blue team is setting up. Vala on 46,000 damage already, and they are about to lock in level 16 talents. Now, kudos to the Gremlins. They are on eye level when it comes to just sheer experience. So both teams on level 16. Seething hatred now for Vala. More damage on the arrows as long as you're keeping your hatred stacks up. Not going for Manticore on this one. but just working one arrow in after another. Both of them in this case actually missing. Waiting for the cooldown to get back. The Haka could be the next target. Here gets stunned out once. And they want that keep, and they should be able to get it. I mean, the Immortal is currently in melee mode, has lost the shield, but they're doing work here. Vala is also starting to drop Murden a bit lower, and he's down, and gets the shield. Garrosh is gone, and Murden survived. What the hell? But the keep is destroyed. Keep is gone. The chase continues. Maybe if they can get a few more kills. They're trying here, but the Haka not able to connect the Tong or anything. Blood Cool on the run. There's the portal, and Vala is gone. So, ooh, and the Ligontek Arcane. Yeah, the old geezer is trying to waddle his way back to safety. Where's my pudding? But nothing, no chance. So he's gone as well.
And we say bye-bye.
He gets eliminated, and all of a sudden we have 3 kills against Exodia Light. There's a lot that was lost for the Gremlins, but maybe now a glimmer of hope. They've taken the lead in experience, and they can now try and also take a few more structures out. That fight was honestly hugely important. That was one of the things that could potentially bring them back into the game here, but they have to capitalize on it as much as they can, and they're trying at the bottom of the map now to push for fort number 2. This would be a huge win for them to get this one as well. But it's a bit tricky. So instead, they're jumping straight onto the camp. Portals are already out there, just in case that Exodia Light is attempting to push in. And of course, Medivh has been providing vision. But I think one of the biggest advantages is now simply that the Gremlins are currently ahead in experience. Significantly ahead in experience, I might add. By nearly an entire level. So this really helps a lot. Medivh, 36 stacks. That's getting there. And the Immortal is coming up. So, this is where it gets spicy now. This is where it gets really spicy. This Immortal... I mean, if the blue team takes it and the last keep falls, you can basically kiss that first map goodbye. If the Gremlins are able to win it, then we are potentially seeing a comeback for the red team. But Vala's now at 43 stacks. Look how quickly that Immortal gets bursted down here. 43 stacks is insane. Well, it's not insane, but it's extremely strong now on that Immortal. So, the red team, they're giving up the halftime show, as you can clearly see here. They're getting ready for the next one. I think part of the thought process here was to attempt to empower the Haka at the top lane, but also to buy some time so that they potentially can get level 20. I'm not so sure why the Haka is nearly dead here, but okay, Serath gets away. Nice dodge on the jet propulsion. The problem that I have with what they're trying to do here is I don't see them buying enough time to get level 20. They're super close and they would love to have their Storm talents, but I think they have to play that out on even footing. The Haka missing the Tong. Muradin jumping back out. And the ley line already used. And the team is dropping a bit. Greymane is still attacking over here, but Vala is going to win this for the blue team one way or another. She's just too powerful at this point, with immortal damage alone. Half a level until 20 on the other hand. So if the Gremlins are able to lock in another minion wave or two, they should be able to have an easier defense. So they're going to try at the bottom of the map. They're going for the old Admiral Akbar move. It's a trap! Or at least they're trying. But here comes the old geezer. Stay a while and get wrecked. But maybe the red team is able to get away after all. Isolation is being used. Hop, little dwarf. Hop, hop. He jumps out. They still don't have 20, but they got the completed quest for Medivh. Better late than never. Makes plays a little bit easier for him, of course, as well from here on out. And the Immortal is easily defended. With level 20 this close, Exodia Light wasn't willing to push. They weren't willing to go for it. 64,000 damage now for Junkrat. He has taken over in the top damage department. Obviously a lot of focus from Junkrat also on the team fights, whereas during the Immortal phase, Vala is mostly focusing on the objective itself. Greymane with 41,000 damage. 20 is in. But the blue team is going to get theirs soon too. Now with level 20 we now have Rewind, we get Medivh Cheats, and we have of course Serenity and Contagion. And they're trying to get that fort. Not that easy though, just a bit more time needed and Exodia Light will have Storm Talons themselves. And the more you push into a position like this, the more Vala is going to stack. And now she has Acrobat. So, yep. That's going to be pretty sweet. The slow, the control, the extra damage, and of course the charges that you have. It drains your mana pool like there's no tomorrow. Mana disappears the same way hot butter goes through cheese, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty poor immortal for the red team in the next phase, because as long as Vala just dances around it and fires one arrow after another, that thing is going to pull a Houdini and disappear in a moment. So, can they fight this one out? Medivh has a lot of utility that he can bring to the table no matter what, and now that he has his level 20 upgrade, this is going to be also super strong. We have top side, still a bit of pressure. Dehaka with a global. I mean, technically, if the red team is keeping him on the side and the blue team just pushes for the objective, he could maybe side lane this a little bit longer. The portal is already being set up here. Camp is spawning in too. Medivh obviously has full vision. But yeah, they're letting that camp slide. Objective up. Quick Stormbolt to the face right there. Deckard Cain. This time Yasuo doesn't connect it. He had a couple of really nice ults where he also anticipated the position and the movement of the opponent, but in this particular instance it didn't work out for him. So a bit unfortunate. Now, with that said and done, we're now having everyone playing this very slow, cool, calm and collected. It's not a kill-heavy game when you think about it. 7 kills in 21 minutes. If you compare this to other matches that we've seen in the tournament so far, this is a little bit more on the calm side. But then, to be fair, this is game number 1. Nobody wants to lose the edge in the series, and Greymane gets absolutely wrecked. Vala with a kill, Greymane gone, and this kind of snowballs the situation. This is the main damage. Losing him is an absolute disaster. You can't lose Greymane here. He's your only main damage dealer. Once he's gone, it's just not working out any longer for you. Simply has to pop his ult as Vala just started chasing him and connect arrow after arrow. We now have 50 stacks for Vala. She's going to work a few more in. 54, 55. I mean, with Acrobat now in, Vala is just accelerating the process to an extent that is totally ridiculous. And the more she's able to make that work, I mean, the better. Arrow after arrow is now getting connected, and the more arrows she connects, the stronger she is against the objective. Acrobat, level 7, level 4, it all works together so beautifully well, and it just shows. It absolutely shows. 81,000 damage now for Vala. Ever since she locked in Acrobat and joined the team fights, you can see how the damage is just exploding for her. And she's just keeping it up. As long as she has mana, she's totally fine here. Halftime show is won for the blue team. They're starting to make the next play here, and Vala is just dancing circles around that bad boy. And look at that shield. 30,000 hit points on the shield as the Immortal is going to start moving down to the bottom of the map. So, yep, that bad boy is going to hurt. If the Gremlins aren't able to get a quick kill, then there's a solid chance that they can kiss this first map goodbye. This is going to be tough. Tough to beat. They have to meet it out on the map already, which obviously exposes them to aggression from their opponents. Portal is already up. They're still poking it, trying to at least remove the shield here. Greymane had to move out. Worgen form. They are working the shield down nicely, I gotta say. The problem is there's no wall anymore. If there was a wall, then they had a bit more time on it. But yeah, lots of damage coming in. Riptire is now coming through too. Dehaka. Simply, the two frontliners both getting attacked here. Vala at 60 stacks now. She's working more and more in. Nearly dies. If they would have gotten the kill against Bloodcool, that would have been the dream. If Vala died there, that would have been incredible for them. But instead, what we're seeing is the keep fall. And now it's time to go for the core over here. So Vala is working the numbers, getting more and more. The blue team decides that they don't want to stress it too much. They don't want to force it, but they're being chased by the Gremlins. The core hasn't lost any hit points from the red team side, but they're hoping to force a fight here. And this is where the Haka comes now into play. Tunneled in. They go for Copenhagen. Bunker is out. And seems like he's going to be able to retreat too. Vala with a few more connects. 93,000 damage. And they set the ley line up. The portal is ready. The Haka gets hit. They're trying to get into the back line. And instead, the red team loses too. 2 heroes instantly deleted here. They take down Muradin, and this is gonna be game. Nano on Medivh gets eliminated. Deckard Cain is chasing Greymane, which is wild to see. Yasuo realizes that he's very much alone and is probably not going to have a chance here. So he's trying to outplay Gavlo a little bit. That's not working. Deckard Cain therefore gone. The problem is that the core is already lost and, well, Greymane can't change that anymore. Fantastic performance here from both of the teams, but Exodia Light proving to be a little bit stronger on the first map. They take the lead in the best of 5 here in the winner bracket of the playoffs. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before I continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Tomb of the Spider Queen, map number 2, Exodia Light with the lead. There were a couple of moments where it really seemed like the Gremlins are going to take the game back, but then Greymane dying, yeah, that kind of put a stop to it. Once that you have your main damage dealer gone, it's just over. So Gavlo dies, and that triggers a bit of a snowball in the battle where Exodia Light chases them down one by one. Now we have Tomb of the Spider Queen, chosen by the blue team, as the Gremlins decided that they want to have first pick, first ban. Now again, best of 5 series, no draft restrictions, absolute standard draft that we have here, which means that everything can be picked. Chromie and Lucio both banned out first, seen similar things already before. But Tomb is definitely a map where you can now start to play with a couple of other heroes that are more centered around wave clear, of course, since the lanes are very close together. One of the heroes that could still play a big role here is, of course, Medivh, since his portal rotations also make him mega dangerous on this map. Tyrael gets banned. There's a chance that Jojo gets now banned too. She's typically like your go-to character on the front line that gets picked on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So definitely first pick worthy, but they go for Blaze instead. But Johanna is going to make an appearance here one way or another. Junkrat banned. Other heroes that we oftentimes see banned on the damage side is, of course, someone like Hanzo. Johanna, as expected, now locked in. Another hero that I could have totally seen for Masquerade is Stitches, on the other hand. But Stitches, if it comes to Towers of Doom, I think there's a chance that they're going to play Stitches. There's the Hanzo pick that I just mentioned a second ago. So both of them being taken now. And with Johanna Hanzo, you're already setting yourself up for a pretty strong game. Whereas on the red team's side, still the question what we're going to now get as the frontliner. Couple of options for them, obviously. Could even go for something like Garrosh again if they really wanted to. Gul'dan and Ana, first and foremost. So Banana is again playing Ana. A lot of people ban Ana against Banana because Banana's Ana is pretty bananas. But the problem is that if you don't know that you should ban Ana against Banana, then Banana is just simply going to pick Ana. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So, could be a problem. Varian gets banned, just to be on the safe side. But, yeah. For the blue team, I still gotta say, going up, you usually go up against the mage. Gul'dan is nice in that context. You have that boost through Ana, obviously, that could become a little bit of a problem if it hits properly in the team fight. You have also your Horrify that you can play around with. It adds another layer of CC if you play it well. But generally, I'm more interested in what exactly the front line is going to look like. You can just simply go for Muradin if you want to, but you could go also try and play around with Garrosh a little bit. And for me, it's always a question if on a map like Tomb, you're seeing again one of those X-Factor picks. We've seen Asmodine in the past, a couple of teams have gone for Cho'Gall, you could go for Medivh again. So there's a few things that they definitely could do if they wanted to. A lot of this is already banned out. I mean, Varian getting banned here, just being one of them. Uriel now coming in on the side lane, and we get Malfurion. Don't think there's going to be any big surprises for Exodia Light. If so, we're most likely seeing the Gremlins adjust a little bit. Maybe an aggressive melee over here, so yeah, let's see. Gavlo's pick is what interests me, honestly, the most. For Simply, I don't think that the frontline is going to make that big of a difference for them right now. I think it's going to be one of the obvious choices, but Gavlo sometimes, you know, throws a Kerrigan in or whatnot. And here comes Garrosh. It's already good. And we get Genji. So, Genji also interesting in that context now. But yeah, solid comp for them. Pretty straight down the line. No big deviations from the norm. And for the blue team, the final pick, keep in mind, they are in the lead right now in the best of 5 series, so a victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen would actually be quite nice for them here to establish that early lead, even though we've already seen in the playoffs that doesn't always mean that you also win the series. Reverse sweeps are definitely a thing and totally possible. Tracer gets played, and we're heading into the second map of the best of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gremlins against Exodia Light. Second game of the series with the blue team on the left, Hazu on Hanzo, Copenhagen on Urel, we have Bloodcool on Tracer, Yaz on Malfurion, and Masquerade on Johanna. By the way, it's confirmed this is indeed Copenhagen on Urel. I wasn't 100% certain if this is a Smurf or not, but I've double checked and it is indeed Copenhagen, as already theorized in game number 1. On the right, we have Gavlo on Genji. Simply is playing Garrosh. We're getting Sadath on Blaze, Banana on Ana, and Nano is playing Gul'dan. Grenade build on Ana, by the way. And for Gul'dan, we're starting things off as so often with Pursuit of Flames. Hanzo starting with a bit of an aggressive play. Well, it's basically just double checking if somebody is sitting in the bush over there and hoping to hit some heroes in the process. So it's nothing out of the ordinary, but always kind of nice to see them, you know, checking here, being aggressive around it. And we've seen occasionally heroes also die because just dove a bit too deep. Camps have already spawned, mercenary camps, 30 seconds in, they're now ready. Has been changed in the last patch as well. Previously it was the 1 minute mark when the camps were spawning. But in this case, obviously, things are slightly different. We have still only one team that is actually going for the Bruiser camp over here. So, yeah, everybody else instead is focusing on just a bit of laning, with finally Gul'dan making a play over towards the right side too. So, together with Ana, we're going to see one camp claimed by them as down at the bottom of the map. Well, a bit of an attempt to, I think, go for the Siege Giant, but with more and more heroes from Exodia Light appearing, they're deciding against it. It's gonna be the blue team that might actually get this one, because Gul'dan and Ana are still missing, so just from that timing alone, we're now having the Gremlins losing out on the Siege Giant camp. But they are aggressively pushing through the middle now, taking the body blocks real serious against Jojo. There's the flip! And that's bye-bye Masquerade. He's gone.
And we say bye-bye.
So, yeah, that's first blood. Right there. That's second blood. Tracer's now down too. So, the Gremlins with 2 kills, locking them in one after another. Nicely done. Siege Giant still getting some value at the bottom of the map at least, so one of the towers is already down. But getting that double kill was obviously pretty neat. Cost them a few gems too. Nothing too crazy. Single digits still. But of course it makes a bit of a difference when you're starting to aim for your first turn in. With level 4 ready and that slight advantage in experience, we now have an upper hand for the Gremlins for now. Level 4 is starting to get in. Bit of a push in the middle as well. Must feel good though for the Gremlins to get into that spot. Masquerade is now pushing towards the top for Gul'dan. And we still have Tracer zipping around the edges, same as Genji, always hoping to get the drop on somebody. They were hoping to go for Copenhagen down at the bottom of the map, which hasn't really worked out yet. Gonna slow down slightly, with turn-ins now coming in. But there's the interrupt. Masquerade is able to deliver though. They were hoping they'd get a kill, and they are! No way! They heal! Oh my god, you're joking. Great play by Yasu and the rest of the team. Able to save Hanzo. So, nicely done. Hanzo saved. They let Masquerade turn in because it wasn't just about interrupting the turn-in attempt. It was about attempting to get a kill on Hanzo, but he made it out thanks to the plays from Yasu. But, yeah. Nice little start here. So cool to see already some really sweet moves from both sides. With Gul'dan obviously adding more stacks to his level 1 quest now as well. So getting a lot in here. After that, yeah, even more AoE that you can utilize against minion waves in particular. So that's also going to help. 26 gems turned in against 10, so doing a bit better on this. Sadath joining from the bot lane. holding 17 gems right now. Urel with only 3, so Copenhagen has turned in earlier. The level 7 abilities now being ready. It's more about the turn-in point at the top where we see most of the fight centered. But, yeah. Still a bit of an early level 7. Sleep Dart against Jojo. This is where you always have to be careful if you're Masquerade. I mean, you have Malfurion behind you who's always assisting you and keeping you topped up. But the Sleep Darts that we're seeing from Banana are absolutely bonkers at times. And if that tees up someone like Garrosh, then you can find yourself very quickly in trouble, even if your name is Johanna. So she needs to be super careful with that. For Banana, it simply means that he needs to ensure that he always has mana available. Hazu gets killed. They go for Hazu, they take Hazops down, and the counter kill attempt against Nano is also successful as Jojo delivers the final blow here. It's not quite over yet because Masquerade gets instantly attacked, and now Banana Age is coming in with some heals and hopes to, of course, also disable them a bit. It's a full-on fight at the top, 4 versus 4. But both Gaflo and Simply have started to fall low and needed to tap the fountain, so they retreat behind the wall. Potentially giving a turn opportunity to the blue team that gets denied a moment later. But, yeah, Hanzo is now back. Down at the bottom of the map. Still with 20 gems in his hands, Sadath, so Blaze turning in would be big. It is the blue team that delivers first. The blue team has now the chance to push for the first structures. Experience is nearly identical in this game. Despite the advantage in kills for the Gremlins, more and more gems now. Oh, that would be a fantastic kill if they get it now. But not on the watch of Ana. Banana Age with perfect positioning here, ensuring that there is nothing that Garrosh has to be afraid of. And now the Web Weavers come into play. So this is really where you want to at least break through a few of the walls. You have, of course, now the minion waves that you can inspire by attacking structures with auto attacks. 35% increased attack speed and movement speed, and this is exactly what happens at the top side. But if you have an opponent that runs a lot of AoE clear against you, then you can very, very quickly negate that little advantage by burning the minion waves down. And they are eliminating at least the top Web Weaver plus the minions very, very quickly. It's the bottom of the map where they're totally losing control. I mean, the entire fort destroyed here is just nasty. So this one taken down, and now in the middle of the map, well, that wall still stands. But I gotta say, first objective, instantly getting a fort, solid. Now, as I said, the push mechanic is a bit stronger now, but also structures have more health, so it kind of offsets it a little bit. Still a good result for Exodia Light one way or another. And they have enough gems for another turn-in. That's the important part here. They're slightly ahead in gems, not by much, just by 5, 6. But they have the opportunity to get another turn-in now before we are even seeing the first one for the Gremlins. Now Gavlo is fully aware of that, so they're trying to interrupt them to deliver additional gems. But everything that he can secure now is of course great. Experience is still the exact same. That's where a lot of the danger now comes from. But here we go. They fully control Jojo. There's the Iron Skin though. Masquerade is no freaking way. Okay, thank you. Genji had enough of this shit too. Came in and just dropped Masquerade because that was just ridiculous. Yasu, you need to let 1 or 2 die eventually. You can't just simply sit there and save them all. This doesn't look fair, dude. So they go for Simply, and he's simply dead. There's a kill on each side. Both of the frontliners gone. Still, when it comes to gems, they both have the chance to turn in. And it seems really like the red team might be able to finally get their... Ooh, or maybe not get their first turn. I was just about to say they are about to drop the gems here, but then Gavlo gets nearly murdered by his own brother. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, honestly, the drama here. I mean, think about this for just a second. You're looking at a thing where brother kills brother. It's just crazy. What a family. I thought my family is screwed up, but that is just beyond the pale if you think about it. This is really Game of Thrones worthy before it got ruined in season 8 or 7 or 6 or whenever it started. I shouldn't have said that. That just triggers me again. Now I'm getting mad at George R.R. Martin again for just abandoning his entire fan base because it's just like too lazy right now to finish his series. So, yeah. Triggering myself in the process. Never a good thing. They are getting their second turn-in, though. So there's 2 turn-ins in a row. And, well, with that, we... Oh, Blessed... Oh, Blessed Shield, the Horrify, and this... No way. What a save. But then he gets Hanzo the second later. The good news is that at least most of the gems are being recovered, but this turn-in is still doing wonders for the blue team. That they're getting the fort in the middle of the map. We can take this one out, and up at the top lane, you guessed it already, another one will fall. So that's now level 13 in their hands. All of the forts destroyed on the red team side. And that is just absolutely stellar for Exodia Light. That's great. That means that it's so much harder now for the Gremlins to even get a turn-in. And of course, they also lost a few gems in the process. So this is making it really tricky. Great play here from the blue team. When you look at the experience alone, then you can already tell that the passive experience increase that we have between the teams is starting to work out for them. Interrupts are coming against Sadath, who has 40 gems by himself. There's the taunt, jet propulsion, and the Iron Skin was still ready. Good root on the ground, but just buying more and more time for the rest of the team that is currently getting mercenary camps. Hanzo has already claimed one. Urel is about to get another one at the bottom of the map. And they're still looking to interrupt Sadath, who turns it with another jet propulsion. And Masquerade, this time he is gone. The Ragdoll gets kicked into the corner, as it should be. Shame. And Tracer's dead too. That cost him a little bit too much. Losing one, maybe. But losing the both of them, that's probably not really worth it here. If Hanzo is able to interrupt Sadath again, and he is, nice. But they're really toying with fire here. They gotta be a bit careful. If Banana H lands a sleep dart on them, they're gonna be in trouble. So we have a nice little attack at the bottom of the map that Copenhagen is currently guarding as best as he can. So that's some damage done by those siege giants. It's not too bad. Working that wall down a little bit is neat. The turn-in has obviously happened, as it would have eventually one way or another. But now the defense needs to kick in for them. We have 32,000 damage for Gul'dan, 29,000 for Hanzo. And the fight up at the top. Yeah, the Web Weaver is probably going to get burned down here pretty quickly, considering that Hanzo should be able to do a lot of damage. But it's more important what's happening at the bottom of the map between our solo laners right now. And just with a quick check, so far Urel is doing okay-ish. 40 gems on Sadath, 22 on Copenhagen. This is always dangerous. When a rotation comes your way, you need to react quickly. The fort in the middle is taking some easy damage too and gets very quickly destroyed. Well, the Web Weaver gets destroyed, not the fort. The fort's still standing. The Web Weaver that was trying to destroy the fort gets quickly melted down. And now we're seeing the same happening at the bottom of the map. To be honest with you, that turn it didn't do a whole lot for the Gremlins. And if they're now losing some of their heroes as well, then matters would be even worse. And yes, that is the end of Garrosh. Now they're coming in to try and take down Sadath as well. And keep in mind, he's holding 40 gems. If he dies, then you are just screwed. So there's the push into a corner, but he uses the jet propulsion to get out of harm's way again. Arrow, though, connects. Blessed Shield. They're not done yet. The root, and bye-bye Blaze. 40 gems eliminated. 40 gems gone, and that's an absolute disaster. They have the turn-in, and they can go for the boss as well. So they really chased him down. I mean, they threw everything against him. Hanzo's arrow, Blessed Shield, then the root came back online for Malfurion, and they are able to net themselves that kill. That one was big. And of course, this is, I mean, I don't want to say checkmate, but this is a brutal, brutal push that they're now setting up. That kill was worth so much. It removed gems from the opponent. It allowed you to go for another turn-in. It allowed you to go for the boss. They are prevented from timing the two of them perfectly. So they're going to take the boss probably quickly and then force the opponent to defend while they go for their own turn-in to get more Web Weavers. But it keeps it on the line now. Nice little attack against Jojo. So far, so good. And then, well, there's the kill. Tranquility coming from Malfurion is a bit too late. Could still go for the turn-in if they wanted to, or they just wait for Johanna to be back. But that makes it easier to defend now. Still going to cost them, of course, some structures and hit points all the way topside. But this is at least manageable now, where previously it seemed like this is going to be, I mean, not quite the end, but potentially the end of some of their keeps. So now the turn-in is happening. I'm gonna get Johanna in a little bit late, which is gonna be there. And there's also some Siege Giants on the way through the bottom of the map. 49,000 damage from Gul'dan right now. Bit of an attack in the middle, as they were hoping to get another kill to make this also an easy defense. But Jojo is now back. We have 40,000 damage for Hanzo. Genji on 41,000. And the blue team is slowly marching forward here with Johanna on the way. 5 kills to 7. Urel protecting the bot lane as best as she can. It's a little bit more time in order to get something done here though. There's still Siege Giants, Web Weavers coming in with the rest of the team. Simply sees what's coming. Siege Giants are nearly gone, not quite defeated yet. They want to push here. Hanzo against Genji, up against the top. Brother against brother. It's against the duel. Genji, clearly the cooler brother. Has the better outfit too. Doesn't have one of those hipster beards that I just always want to set on fire. But we now have Hanzo a bit low. Gets the arrow out. And it's a kill. Genji got Hanzo. Nice. The two of them really going toe-to-toe. And then after we have Hanzo commit to his own ult and the X-Strike, after we have Genji commit to the ult, Hanzo just reads it perfectly and reacts to it. Now the push for the keep at the top. And this is likely going to be the first major structure that falls in the inner ring of security. Root on the ground against Gul'dan, but Garrosh to the rescue. He saves the day as the keep falls. Tracer still darting around and hoping to get another kill, which isn't happening here. But now they can deliver the gems that they have, and more importantly, yes, they lock in level 20. Any second now, we're going to get Storm Talons for them, and they're looking great on this. Tough times. Very tough times for the Gremlins. They had one single turn-in so far. Whereas the blue team already had 3. So, yeah. Great for them. Urello in the next camp. Working the mercenaries. We could see... I mean, gems are mostly on home. 8 over here. 14 on Bloodcool. I guess Bloodcool, after pushing out the bot lane, should probably turn in. He has the most from all of them. And he wants to also dive into the opponent's team. So if you do that too aggressively and then get killed, then they lose that advantage. But they still have the edge and had for quite some time now. So Genji is still pushing here. Careful. Blessed Shield. Good Indomitable from Garrosh though. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Tracer goes in, gets killed and dies and loses all the gems. Exactly what I talked about just a second ago. I think she had 20. Something like that. Yeah, 17 gems. So here, Tracer comes in, gets thrown, gets quickly taunted, controlled, and then gets instantly bursted down. And that is the end of those gems. And now we have the turn-in potential for the Gremlins. So there's the opportunity to finally take a fort out. I mean, they have still not eliminated a single fort. We're talking about level 20 now on both sides. We are 17 minutes into the game, and every single fort on the side of Exodia Light is still standing. So this is something that needs to be changed. Change is necessary. I think I butchered the quote, but you know what I'm talking about. Or who I'm talking about. And if you don't, then... that's the only response. So. Yeah, down at the bottom of the map, they're already trying to defend a little bit. Tracer is now back too. The Nexus Mosquito. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Buzzing around, trying to get kills. Hazo Ops gets murdered once again. The old man gets taken down. Horrify, well, just forces them back. Doesn't create another kill opportunity. But the Gremlins are all of a sudden taking structures down. And that's 1 fort down. That's 2 forts down. And they're going to get another one at the bottom of the map if they are interested in it. But I suppose that they're hoping to open up some of those keeps instead. Don't think that they can actually take this on. Can they? Well, Inspire on... okay. So, yeah, Web Weaver at the top. They're still going to slowly break through this. But the wall falling is not going to be the end of things here. The boss about to be taken, that's a bit of a different story though. Timing is absolutely perfect for them because, well, Hanzo isn't back yet. Hazo Ops getting murdered in that last encounter, definitely a huge setback for them. So now they can't do anything about this play at the top. And this gives an opportunity to the Gremlins, especially because they also have a turn available. They have enough gems to deliver once more. Sadat has 33, and everybody is now basically trying to just deliver the gems that they have. So while the blue team is already defending against the boss at the top, we have red web weavers touching ground, and they're going with Genji also for the camp over on the right side. So after Exodia Light has dominated the first, I don't know, 70% of the game, they are now getting pressured hard. And I mean, hard. Web Weaver wave after Web Weaver wave. Boss coming in. To be fair, this one did nothing. Didn't even touch the keep. But we have all of the lanes pushed in, and keeps are gonna fall here. It doesn't mean that Exodia Light is out, but they are gonna have a much harder time to win this game than we previously thought. Because earlier they did just fantastic in controlling the flow of the game. Right now they're struggling. There's another camp coming in. Down at the bottom, they already opened this up a bit. I also have to give some credit to the blue team though, even while they are getting pinned down here. Their defense isn't bad. I mean, we've seen now 20 minutes into the game, a boss plus an objective taken. And so far, this has done essentially nothing. So it's all centered around the bot lane right now, which is the last avenue of attack that we are seeing for the Gremlins. But the minion waves are about to be taken out. The Web Weaver is already at 50% HP, gets poked into oblivion within seconds. And as the Gremlins retreat, not a single keep has fallen. Not one. So that's pretty darn good for Exodia Light. This could have been a disaster. Now they go for the choke point battle. Horrify is, by the way, up. Gets used. And it's the end of Jojo. Massive arrow over here. I mean, narrowly missing the target. That's headed to NA as usual. 6 kills to 10. And I gotta say, Gavlo's Gremlins, they might not have been able to do a whole lot with the last objective, but they're always able to now get that kill when they need it. 5 deaths on Masquerade. Masquerade getting absolutely slapped here. So the Gremlins with lots of poke as they're sieging up on this. We have the mid lane attack also happening, of course with that mercenary camp. But keeps at the bottom of the map are now getting dropped, and Gul'dan is a major factor in this. They're hoping for additional kills. This is time for Malfurion to die. Malfurion is gone, but they get the counter kill on Garrosh, so that was a big one. Garrosh is gone. Both of the teams have now lost 1 keep, and Exodia Light is trying to stabilize. They're trying to stabilize in this game and finally get their rhythm back. They have 1 ace up their sleeves, and that is the gems for a turn-in. So they can get the turn in here. The question is just simply, can they with Malfurion push out and grab it? Because it's not only about what we're seeing with Malfurion. We have at the same time also Garrosh, of course, now for only 30 seconds. So the difference between Malfurion respawning and Garrosh respawning isn't all that big. If the blue team can somehow sneak that turn in, I mean, even better. But they also need to push the lanes out slightly, and that's what they're currently doing on all of them. So it comes down to that turn-in, and Copenhagen has 40 gems. So he's actually extremely close to get enough gems to deliver it by himself. And nobody else has to go for a turn-in anymore. If he just picks up the gems down here, that's happening. But Blood Cool delivered, Copenhagen is ready, that's a turn-in. Nicely done. Red team didn't counterplay. Didn't move in to try and interrupt, so here's the chance to take another keep down. Each team sitting on 2 keeps currently. 23 minutes into the game now with 91,000 damage for Gul'dan. 70,000 for Hanzo. I mean, is he even trying? Gavlo down at the bottom of the map here right now. Simply. Yeah, also sitting tight. Here comes the next move. Copenhagen already pushing forward a little bit. Alright, and it is time for the Web Weavers. So, can they take another keep? Inspire is already kicking in at the bottom keep, and they're doing really well here. I mean, this one is falling quickly. The reaction from the red team is way too late. I mean, they didn't react at all. So the keep just disappears. Contrast that to the push that we're seeing from the Gremlins the entire time. This is exactly how you need to push that out. Mid lane, different story. They defended well here, but that's now 2 keeps gone, and they can go for the mercenary camp too. So it's interesting. We have an interesting game on our hands. We're now 24 minutes into it. Definitely one of the longer ones here. Catapults on the core, trying to take the shield down. But yeah, the boss is now up, and a lot of the fights are probably going to center around the top lane from here on out. If one team takes the boss, it's pretty much over, especially if it's the blue team, since there's no keep anymore on the red team side on the top. Huh. They're gonna try and take this, or at least they're gonna try and bait it a little bit. Bloodcool is already starting it up, and for the red team this is a little bit uncomfortable because they're now sitting there thinking, are they really taking it? Are they just baiting it? Are they trying to lure us in? Or are they really going for the boss while we're not even checking it out? So that's the problem that they're currently facing. Sadath checks it, sees it, and the boss gets leashed. Half HP, and they're moving away here. Yeah, it's getting crazy here. 24 on the levels, 25 minutes into the game. We're definitely in for a bit of a highlight here in game number 2. The lead so far on Exodia Light, but who takes the win? One kill might be all that you need in order to initiate the next few steps to win the game. Get a kill or two, go for boss. Maybe you can go for the core directly. Stun already on Blaze. Continuous poke from Hanzo. Genji's trying to do the same thing, and it's an interplay between Tracer and Genji time and time again, as we're having up here the poke happening. Not enough gems for a turn in on either side, but the Gremlins are closer. Gremlins have enough gems now. They just locked in a few more gems, and now they have enough to get them a potential turn in. Yrel at the bottom of the map trying to upset the balance a bit on the lane by going for Siege Giants. Oh, the interrupt not happening. Sadath connects them. Sadath gets them. Yrel deals with the triple catapult that we have here, and then she's going to move towards the middle. But we have Siege Giants at the bottom of the map now. The balance of power at the bot lane has now been shaken. So this is going to push against the red team, for sure. Yeah, well. Who's getting that turn in? Red team is pushing on the edges, looking for opportunities, especially Garrosh, of course. Blue team is attempting to turn in. Genji delivers at the bottom and gets the Web Weaver for the team. Exodia Light hasn't really paid attention down there. They were fully focused onto the top turning point, and now that's a problem. Instantly, they're starting a bit of an attack. They're not fully committed to it. They haven't used Blessed Shield, for example. Garrosh also still had Indomitable, so something that you didn't want to throw out yet. But now we have Web Weavers through the mid lane first, I suppose. Attack is coming in. Garrosh was already hoping to flank from the side. So they're poking this slowly, but the chances are that at least that mid lane keep falls. Because here we have the Gremlins pushing. 27 minutes into the game. 100,000 damage already for Khaldor. 105,000. 91k for Hanzo. Here's the play. Genji on 69,000 damage. 70. Arrow. Horrified. Jojo is gone. And so is Banana. Banana is eliminated. Banana's Ana is dead. The keep is gone as well. It's a 4 versus 4. So they lose the keep. They don't lose the game here. The Haunt from Gul'dan was on point. Eliminated Jojo, Noblest Shield, nothing. But then a second later, Tracer dives deep and gets the kill on Ana. Yeah, Gavlo sitting on the sides here. Oh, they want the boss. Okay, somebody is playing dangerous. Genji is on the core, and since nobody is defending, they know exactly where they are. I don't think they can take this one. They're going to try for a kill here. Jet propulsion. Bye-bye. That's it, I think. That position, absolutely horrible. They lose 2, they lose 3, and that has to be game. Check out the positioning here as they're trying to escape. They're completely caught between the two of them. It was a super awesome pancake move from Gavlo's Gremlins, and that allowed them to just take 3 out within a second. They don't even have to bother with the boss. They can immediately go for the core unless they die. Okay. Alright. With Hazob's dying, that's the end of it. But for just a second, it seemed like maybe they were able to defend with the two of them. Now, obviously, that hope has been shut down too. It's a tie in the series. We're going to game number 3 on an even score between the teams here. GG, well played as the red team takes Tomb of the Spider Queen. Coming up next, we have the third map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor, support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. So we're back with draft number 3. We actually were already in here once, and then apparently Yasu's laptop crashed or something. So we had to restart the draft. Hanzo is getting banned here, and we have actually very quick bans coming over on the side of Exodia into Chromie and Junkrat. And I talked about this the first time that we were here, because all of those bans are essentially targeting Nano. Nano is basically known for 3 heroes: Hanzo, Chromie, and Junkrat. So he can play way more than those. We've seen on Cassia and others, but those are probably the 3 most impactfuls that he usually plays. And when the red team has first pick, the blue team is essentially trying to shut a lot of their options down as best as they can. So Chromie getting banned very early makes obviously perfect sense. They're also going for a Junkrat ban in this case now. And then Nano has to deviate away from it and think about, okay, what else are we going to pick here? So they're starting things off with Blaze, which is one of the best side laners still. And we're getting Malfurion on the side of Exodia, Light on Infernal Shrines, together with Johanna. So presence already on the shrine itself. We kind of got a bit excited when Yasu dropped, before they dropped and revealed, okay, we need to restart the draft. They the auto bot picked Illidan, and we theorized earlier with Team Rip about how Illidan could potentially fit into the new patch, and Team Rip obviously tried to play that on Towers of Doom, but unfortunately we didn't get anything of that here. Gavlo now with Sergeant Hammer. Now, since we're on Infernal Shrines, I would still expect that we're seeing a normal hammer build, but still, if you remember how DDX played it with that mine build that actually worked well on Infernal Shrines and led to a victory, that would be pretty epic if something like that would happen again. Haven't seen a lot of that, but the last time that DDX made that move, they actually won it with flying colors. It was awesome. So now we have Garrosh plus Blaze at the front. That's a nice protection squad for Sergeant Hammer. And they're already banning Deckard Cain, making sure that there's less zone control, the slow stuns that can protect the Sergeant. Now, how is the blue team going to react to this? Last map was a bit of a setback, obviously. So they have to find a solution here. Gul'dan is the first one that gets banned out. That Horrify can, of course, throw an entire team into disarray. So you want to get rid of him. And it offers, or Gul'dan offers, a lot of wave clear on the shrine, a lot of AoE that he can bring to the table. We had some people even try to play with Kel'Thas the other day. Different maps. Actually, no, Infernal Shrines as well. But here comes Hoga, and we get Genji together with it. So the overheals that we're going to get from Malfurion, put us Amuse, Bloodcooler, and Genji after he just played a solid Tracer, honestly, on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Some pretty neat kills, especially the one against Banana H's Ana, that kind of won them one of the team fights and led to a successful defense against the Web Weavers. If not for that, the red team would have had the upper hand in numbers and the objective, and would have won the map even earlier. But with the final 2 picks for Gremlins, we get Maiev and we get Whitemane. So, is there a chance for them to actually make it and to now take the lead against Exodia Light? Or is this where the blue team is again just taking the map, the control, and the lead in the series? Final pick for them. They need a bit more damage. Genji alone is not going to cut it here. Could, of course, always decide that you want to go into another melee character, but a bit more AoE from outside would maybe not be a bad idea. They have Hogger, they have Jojo. Those are 2 fantastic heroes for any shrine fight. But with Sylvanas, they now have a bit more that they contribute here. And, well, that basically teases off. Infernal Shrines, map number 3. Let's go. Exodia Light starting once again on the left in blue. We have Hazorps on Sylvanas. We can have, well, Copenhagen on Hogger, Masquerade on Johanna, Bloodcool on Genji, and Yasu on Malfurion. Whereas over on the right side, we get Sergeant Hammer for the Gremlins, played by Nano, going into the Advanced Artillery on level 1. Gavlo's playing my F. We got Simply on Garrosh, Sadath on Blaze, and Whitemane played by Banana H this time. So it's essentially a Protect Sergeant Hammer squad with a lot of AoE coming in and zone control. They're trying to also cleave things out with my F on the Shrine, get a couple of tethers going, and really empower Sergeant Hammer as best as possible. Early game is always a little bit iffy. Don't think that we're going to get another Spider-Mine build from Nano as we've seen from DDX. And honestly, if you missed that game, if you missed that match, I highly recommend that you're going to the YouTube channel and you just check down the playlist a little bit, because we had in the playoffs now already I think it was in the last chance qualifier. It's in the thumbnail with the build from Sergeant Hammer. So just look for Sergeant Hammer in the thumbnail and you're going to find that game. It was also in Infernal Shrines, and DDX played just beautifully there. It was a completely different approach to Sergeant Hammer. We've seen similar moves by them months ago in the past, once or twice, but here they did just fantastically well. Now, as we have Sergeant Hammer already getting a bit aggressive down at the bottom of the map, Masquerade and everybody else, of course, is going to try and push it back as best as they can. They have the blind too. That helps a little bit, negates some of the damage output that we're having from Nano. So Jojo can help. Not the reason why she was picked or anything, she was picked first. But still something that you can utilize to buy yourself a bit more time wherever you're playing this one out. So camps are taken. 30 seconds is when we have the first spawn now happening. We have the camp at the bottom of the map taken 2. And then for Nano it's all about, working in the damage here, but also to just simply make sure that you are getting level 7 so that you have your mobility. And this is already a lot of really neat damage that they're able to push out here. Now that blind is only able to basically shut down 2 auto attacks, but that's better than nothing. They have the side wall opened, and that allows them to be very aggressive with Garrosh. And one of the towers is dead too. So Nano is finding himself in the perfect spot here. Well protected. Can just get the attacks going. There's a heal with Banana H right at his side. And he just stands there and is absolutely wrecking things. So the siege is beautiful for them. And now they're trying the same thing up at the top. Big damage against Genji too, but it's all about taking those towers out. And they're gonna drop this one with ease. Don't have a kill yet in the game, but there's pressure, pressure, pressure. And now finally a 4 versus 3 at the bottom of the map for the blue team. As Exodia Light rotated a few more heroes in to help with the problem that they have. Doesn't change the fact that one tower is down and the gate is open. So much easier to push for the fort from their perspective. Banana on his hero with Whitemane, Pity the Frail, straight into Martyrdom. No surprises there either, so pretty much a standard build that we've seen for Whitemane a few times already. Camps for each team as the first objective spawns at the top. And yeah, Sylvanas is actually staying at the bottom of the map. I mean, technically there's a chance that Sylvanas is just attempting to stay longer and pushes for structures, that they're not going for the objective. The red team has already a head start with Blaze being on point there. But now Genji is slowing down Gavlo as Maiev rotates down towards the bottom of the map. That buys extra time for Sylvanas, and she gets easy damage in. The Inspire buff gets triggered by the auto attacks. The structures are disabled, and that is instant pressure against the bottom wall, and it works out nicely. Top side, the blue team has now slowly started to take over. Initially we had that lead for the Gremlins. With level 7 we now also have hover siege mode, so this allows Nano to be more impactful as they're actually fighting for this. Yasu gets heavily hit by that, and that's a kill. Yasu is down, Malfurion is gone. 1 kill to 0 now. That was actually first blood in the game. And we have Nano already on the shine with 30 stacks now to their name, as the attempt is made to take Gavlo out. But yeah, that's a save. Nice. Gavlo's still alive. Tries to tether straight into the tower range. Nice. But, well, they get Hogger out. Even Genji is able to survive after he initially moved in. So now they have the Punisher at the top. Quick reminder, Punishers jump in front of the gate now, not over the gate. You can't bait them anymore. Was one of the changes specifically for Infernal Shrines. So you are essentially guaranteed a little bit more damage if you play it properly. We have the wall destroyed easily. And all those arcane sentries. Yeah, the good old days of Diablo. Well, Diablo 3 wasn't too bad. Diablo 2 was definitely the better game, but Diablo 3, I played a lot of hardcore Diablo 3. and Arcane Sentries were the death of many a hardcore character. But still didn't bring down my love for the franchise until Blizzard thought, how about we release Diablo 4 as a beta, call it a full game, and just burn the last bit of goodwill that we have from our fan base. And that's exactly what they did. So, yeah. Red team able to claim the camp at the bottom of the map. Topside pressure. By the way, if you guys have still not played this game, if you are generally speaking a fan of the Diablo series, play Path of Exile 2. You can thank me later. Path of Exile 2 is amazing. I never really played Path of Exile 1. It wasn't never my thing. I didn't like the graphics too much, and some of the systems weren't really cool. But if you if you haven't played Path of Exile 2 yet, and you want to have some of those old feels that you had when you initially started playing Diablo, really do yourself a favor and get the game. It is worth every single penny. Is it even free to play right now? I can't even remember. But Path of Exile 2 is incredible. The boss design is fantastic. The game is tons of fun. So if you are one of those people that love Diablo, but you got kind of upset with what Blizzard was doing with it, and you haven't checked out Path of Exile yet, as I said, check it out, get it, play it a little bit, you can thank me later. Act 1 boss in particular, absolutely amazing design, and it's really one of those things where you just sit there and you're like, oh my god! So, can't say enough good things. I don't get as much time these days to play the game as I want, but I can't say enough good things about the game. It's really made from a company and developers where you can clearly tell that A, they play their own game, which Blizzard has stopped doing a long time ago, and B, they love the game that they're designing. A little bit of a rant, not getting paid for this, but gotta get it out there. So, big thumbs up from me. Nice push at the top lane, by the way, from the Gremlins. We have 2 kills to 0 overall. I mean, it's a little bit of a meme over here what we have in regards to the hit point pool. But just generally speaking, the Gremlins with a bit of a... Okay, I was about to say dominant early game, and this is obviously exaggerating things a bit too much. Just very stable performance for them. Not a lot of problems that we've seen so far, not a lot of mistakes made. Just a very slow and methodical Sergeant Hammer performance. Simply is able to get out here, so good for him. The mind control, on the other hand, that's a problem. Simply still alive and makes it out fully. So there's another flip. They're trying to go for Sylvanas. She immediately disrupts the fort. Nano gets out too, and Sylvanas is gone. I mean, insane. Absolutely insane. What a fantastic coordination here from the red team. Not only not losing a hero, but then also being able to kill multiple on the other side. Look at this. Sylvanas is threatening to kill. They're going for Sergeant Hammer. Hammer boosts out, and then they're turning it and killing multiple heroes. A ridiculous play. Absolutely ridiculous play. I mean, seriously. The fort at the top lane destroyed. Now the play for the Punisher. 5 kills to 0. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy that nobody died there for the Gremlins. Mind-blowing. Now we have the fort open in the middle, the wall gone, the objective basically already claimed. There's no way for the blue team to still get it. They could maybe get a... Nah, even here they can't get that kill. So here comes the Mortar Punisher. And they can push in with Sergeant Hammer once more. But that was so unbelievably well done. The Gremlins, this is exactly what I said, or what I meant when I said that they're playing a very clean game and very methodical. So that was probably the closest that he got to losing a couple of heroes so far, and they still navigated it very well and can now get even farther ahead. So one fort is already down. This is the second one that's gonna fall, and they're hoping to get a few more kills with it, and they do. They take Hogger down. Hogger is eliminated. There's a quick disc on Johanna. They could get a kill here as well, and bam! Jojo's gone. Masquerade is dropped. 32,000 damage from Sergeant Hammer, and now they can burst another wall down in the middle. And if you look at the kills, it's 7-0. We have a 2-level gap, closing in on a talent advantage, of course. And just the map itself dominated now by the Gremlins. So extremely well done from them. And yeah, it's a nice draft, and it works out extremely well for them. So gotta give them some kudos there. For Exodia Light, this means it's a little bit of a tough one. They have to bring this back somehow, and it's going to be difficult once that we have level 16 talents as a huge advantage for the team. Sylvanas trying with possession to turn the tides slightly in this. Gavlo now getting attacked. Did they go too deep? So far we have Garrosh helping them out well. And the bunker is also in. Hoarder pulled. And instantly damaged, but this time it's a bit too much. Malfurion with a kill on Maiev. Garrosh gets killed too. Despite the level 16 that they just got there at the last moment, they couldn't utilize the talent yet. So finally 2 kills on the board for Exodia Light. I mean, honestly, it took long enough, but they were able to pull it off. So good for them. Maybe the start of a bit of a comeback, but of course they have a huge gap to bridge from here on out. And it won't be easy. The push towards the top as they're trying to take the keep apart should be able to get this quite easily. Red team just doesn't have enough to rotate there in time. Maybe not the entire keep. Yeah, we've even seen possession now in action. So 38,000 hero damage from Sergeant Hammer. 25,000 from Genji so far. 1 fort at least down. And it closes the gap a little bit. But we also have another push coming through the bottom of the map by the Gremlins themselves as they're going for the last and final fort. And the blue team realizes they won't be able to do anything about it. So they're not even trying to get there. No rotation or anything happening. In addition to that, we have on the experience side, lead-in minion experience for Exodia Light, or the situation would be even worse for them. Because in every single category outside of that, we have a significant advantage for the red team. The Gremlins still looking extremely powerful here, despite the fact that they couldn't maintain that talent lead for much longer. So right now we have 16 versus 16. All the way up at the top right. The next camp is about to be claimed. So, yeah, they're going to try their luck here. Again, the disc on Jojo. Garrosh gets stopped. Indomitable gets the flip. There's the tether. And this could be the end of Masquerade again. Oh, and he's gone. Masquerade is gone. They wanted the kill. They threw everything at Johanna. And they got the kill. The ult from Yasuo was a bit too late. Was not enough. And now this happens, centered around another objective again. So once more an opportunity here to get another objective, to get another Punisher. Also, some pretty sweet moves being made by Garrosh and Maiev alone, just to keep the opponent at bay, cleave them down a little bit, and force them to retreat. I don't think that the blue team would have gone and attempted to contest this one anyways, but this is looking better and better for the Gremlins. They won on the second map, they lost the first one in the series, but now on map 3, things are looking pretty alright again. The pressure play by Sylvanas gets shut down now. Oh, not only does the play got shut down, yeah, we also have a quick kill against Sylvanas herself, so that's another one that dies, and this happens just as Johanna is back. The Frozen Punisher at the top lane has now been claimed. Hogga is trying to go for the camp at the bottom of the map. Shouldn't really be a problem. Genji is slowing the rotation down, but it doesn't change the fact that this top lane push is going to hurt. There's a mercenary camp, we have the boss, we have the minion waves, and Sergeant Hammer is already providing a nice little inspire buff for the minions as they're pushing in, and the wall is gone within half a second. So the wall, no chance here, insta gone. They try and get a kill. Genji protected, but not for long, and he's eliminated. Genji is down, and the fort, the keep, it will fall to. Can they kill Masquerade? They're certainly trying. Masquerade gets body blocked, slowed, and gets crushed, and this is probably game. Nice! Great performance by the Gremlins. What a solid game by them. 12 kills to 2. They only lost a few heroes in that one fight that turned against them. Everything else, just a clean performance with an easy victory on Infernal Shrines for the Gremlins. A fantastic draft that worked out well for the red team. They take the core down, lock in the W, and therefore also the lead in this best of 5 series here in the winner bracket of the playoffs. GG. And it's match point. We are going to Towers of Doom. The Gremlins have taken the lead in the series with a very solid victory on Infernal Shrines. Very clean game. They went for a draft that worked extremely well for them. There was absolutely no way for Exodia to break through it. The defense was just too strong. They had some incredible moments as well, particularly that fight centered around the fort at the top lane, of course, where the Gremlins were actually threatened and nearly lost 2 of their heroes, but then instead saved everyone and killed 3 on the other side. So that really broke Exodia Light, or at least the balance in the game, for a long time. But now we have that 2-0 advantage, sorry, 2-1 advantage for the Gremlins, as they have an opportunity to close out the series and send Exodia Light into the losers bracket. The map chosen by the blue team, which kind of makes... actually, sorry, my bad. The map chosen by the Gremlins. Garrosh gets banned. It's actually kind of funny. So... obviously, the first pick has changed, which also influences the way that the draft works. But they targeted Nano a lot previously, and now one of the heroes that they are trying to get rid of is also Garrosh, because it had just too much of an impact. So Garrosh gets removed, which leaves now Junkrat and Hanzo both up, and Exodia Light, they start with Blaze. It's highly unlikely that both of them get taken by the Gremlins, so them keeping both up means that very likely the red team picks one, and they can take the other if they choose to do so. If not, they still can ban the other hero out, if they really think that there's a chance that both are getting taken, which is usually not the case again. So there's a little bit of like theory crafting around this too, but for the red team, we're now getting one of Nano's heroes, I suppose. It's Hanzo, and we're getting Malfurion. That leaves Junkrat, which could be taken by the blue team, or if they are afraid that he might end up on the side of the Gremlins, they could still ban him out before there's another pick opportunity for the red team. Banana on Malfurion. We've seen plenty of Malfurion. Malfurion has a pretty incredible win rate, actually, just generally speaking. Not only this tournament, but when we're talking about the previous one too. He was one of the most picked and heroes, and one with the best win rate. There's our Junkrat pick, and we're getting Stitches together with it. Remember earlier when I said that on Towers of Doom, Masquerade is likely going to choose Stitches? That's exactly what we're seeing here. It's a typical performance play for them. We have also with Junkrat now the trap that they can set down whenever Stitches gets a hook and a gorge off. So that offers combo potential that you can use. And then of course you always gotta ask yourself, are you playing Medivh with this for a full-on kidnap combo? Are you... I mean, there's plenty of opportunities of what you could actually combo with that. But if they wanted to play Medivh here, they certainly could try and do that and go for a full kidnap approach. We already expected the Vikings to be banned, at least I talked about it during the games, once the Towers of Doom was locked in as the map, and it doesn't come as a surprise that they are eliminated. We've seen so far only a single Viking game in this new patch, because they were banned out every time that there was even a chance that the opponent would pick it, with that one exception. So, yeah, here we are. Jojo and Dehaka. With Johanna, you can obviously dodge hooks by simply activating your trait, or even if you get gorged up and hooked, you can usually try and escape by hitting that quickly enough. You have a couple of tools that give you survivability. If you're really worried about it, I suppose you can also play the falling sword ult instead of blessed shield. That would help, of course, too. Don't think that we're gonna get to see that here, but yeah. With Light Bomb, Gorge into Gust for more isolation plays. The Light Bomb from Anduin to ensure that the target that gets gorged up gets stunned out too. So they really went all in on that particular build. They really wanted to make sure that everything is centered around Stitches. Doesn't mean that Fawcett can also bring global power to them, but this is a lot of cool tools now that they can use to hook and isolate targets and then play around it. Tracer gets picked on the other side though, and well, with that we're set up for our first match point in this best of 5 series. Gremlins against Exodia Light, everybody. Let's head straight to Towers of Doom. Game number 4, Exodia Light on the left in blue. Again, full on Stitches isolation build with Hazo on Falstad. We got Copenhagen on Blaze, Bloodcool on Junkrat, Yasu on Anduin, and we get Masquerade on Stitches. So it's all about Stitches coming in, going for Hungry for more, by the way. Coming in, hook, gorge, Anduin pulling him out, Junkrat providing a trap, Blaze a stun, and Falstad can gust the opponent away. As over on the right side, we have Simply on Johanna. We get Nano on Hanzo, Tracer played by Gavlo, Banana H on Malfurion, And Serath is playing De Haka. So, let's get going here. The hook is already coming out and is hitting nothing. But the track record of Masquerade with Stitches is pretty big. So is the Tong here. But Anduin already ruining the play. We had a great Tong with a follow-up from Malfurion, and then Anduin comes in and just pulls the target out. Just feels bad, man. There's always been a bit of a killjoy. That doesn't change here. Gavlo is trying to go for Falstad up at the top. And down at the bottom of the map, we're now having camps claimed from both teams. Because it's all about them pumpkins. Halloween is around the corner. It is a pumpkin time, baby. Oh, my supermarkets, by the way, have now all started to also put gingerbread in. Like gingerbread cookies, like all of the Christmas stuff is now there. Whoa, I'm telling you, it is difficult to go shopping these days. You just go to the supermarket and you just want to buy it all, eat it all. And yeah, unfortunately it can't. At least shouldn't. But it is. It's tough. It's a little bit early, but by now I'm kind of used to it. But this is the best thing that you have when it comes to the Christmas times, I suppose. So, yeah, good stuff. Supermarkets with, like, awesome... They have this gingerbread, like the really good one, you know, where you have like, that 5-pack. 3 of them have a chocolate glazing, and then you have 2 with, like, some sugar thing. Oh my god, they're so darn good. And then you have, like, this other one where they are a little bit smaller, and they have only the sugar coating. They're a little bit, like, higher quality, I think, or something. But yeah, gingerbread, these gingerbread cookies are just absolutely insane. Best stuff ever. Love it. Now, down at the bottom of the map, we got Bloodcool. This is really what Junkrat is amazing at. You just stay at a safe distance, get a couple of grenades in. The Inspire buff picks up on the minions, and all of a sudden you do structure damage. So this is one of the reasons why we've seen Junkrat occasionally just playing these side lane rotations, where he's then pushing lanes through, gets the minion waves destroyed first, and then pushes them in. With the rotation that we're, by the way, getting on the side of Exodia Light, we also have a fair amount of globes that Stitches has already picked up. Now, when you're going for Hungry for More, obviously you want to increase your own survivability by boosting your hit point pool. And also, nice first blood by Tracer. So it's about boosting the hit point pool. It's, by the way, also about increasing the impact of Devour. But additionally, you get that movement speed advantage, the more globes you pick up. And this can really help you, not only when you're starting to get Gorge, but also just generally in the late game. When you have a high amount of movement speed, it's much easier for you to either engage, disengage. Double channel already happening from the red team side, so that they're getting the hit in. And, well, here is the shot. So, well, we have 4 now at least. Falstad, careful, and Hazu is able to get away for now. Now, same time as the camp is taken, the red team is now making the play for their own and is moving over, and it doesn't really seem like the blue team is too interested. Actually, they're gonna at least try and land a hook here. Or at least that's what it looked like. And then once that Jojo sniffed out the position of Stitches and started to block it, he realized that they wouldn't get the connect, so they fell back. 10 stacks already on the side of Stitches, though, for his level 1. Which is pretty darn strong. Over here, again, we have the extra range at 13, so keep that in mind. Currently on level 7. And there's the hook. No Gorge so far, of course. They still have the trap on the ground, and it connects quickly. But, yeah. Jojo's not really going to be in trouble this early on. She's still too tanky to have them get a kill here. And so far we've only seen 1 kill, and that was the Gremlins being able to take Junkrat out. Took out the trash, got the kill. Now they go for Falstad, but not able to take him on just yet. Now we are getting there though. Oh, okay, the side lane open. Simply is getting out. But that got dangerous. Junkrat with a displacement and making this a very dangerous call. So the Gremlins not losing anyone just yet. But it's a very even game still. We had that one advantage through the double altar channel for the red team. Now the push made for Stitches again. Another hook, and this one connects too, but Nano is quickly jumping out and saves his own quad here. We are getting slowly towards level 10 abilities though, and then things will get a lot more interesting and the dynamic changes completely, because then we get Gorge and Gust. Additionally, let's not forget that it will also become much more dangerous for the red team when we have with level 13 the hook range extended. Channel in the middle, attempted. But then you go up against Junkrat and he's just sitting there laughing his ass off and getting one grenade connected after another. Just hitting them one by one. Yeah, 12 stacks now for Stitches. Boosting the hit point pool a little bit. Careful, Masquerade gets attacked here. Masquerade, Devour procs, they want Stitches, they're getting Stitches. That's the kill. Oh, that was clutch. Blood cool with the dodge at the last second, or this could have been another kill. So Stitches is gone, the ult has been channeled, that's 28 points on the core. And that was an important play to make. But yeah, Gorge is now up. We'll try to steal the pumpkins away. Arrow on a 45-second cooldown here. Stitches is coming back, and you want to take that camp before he arrives. We have Copenhagen trying to slow them down too, teeing things up a little bit. Good ult though from Tracer too, and it is simply that false victim to the barrage of the blue team. Gust used into a corner, Banana H gone, and that's all that utility that we spoke about earlier. So they get 2 kills, they take down Jojo, and they eliminate Malfurion, which means that we're now dead even in kills. And Exodia Light kicking off the ult phase with some very nice plays here. So, job well done. Next objective will be a double spawn, horizontal at the top side. Yeah, Sadath still playing this one out against Blaze. 15 stacks for Stitches right now. So he needs a little bit more in order to get the additional movement speed. He's sitting at 5% additional movement speed right now that he gets baseline when he ever picks the talent. So another 5 and he's gonna have 10 in total. Jungle enjoying the show a little bit. Once again, hook potentially. There's Gorge, alright. There's the pull from Anduin. Blessed Shield follows afterwards. The arrow, and they can save their target. Pretty big hits, by the way, against Junker in particular. But this is exactly the interplay that I talked about earlier. That Jojo can get the Blessed Shield out, for example, after a Gorge. And Anduin is going to try and just pull the target, pull Stitches away as fast as possible to shut that play down. But these are the counter moves that have to be made. And if Falstad is around and can land a Gust, then it is made even more difficult. So over on the right side, we have the Haka now channeling. Blaze is interrupting once again. And the blue team is actually going to try and fight for this. Tracer is at the bottom of the map, so that's one of the reasons why they're willing to engage. They know that they have a numbers advantage, but there's just way too much poke. Tracer has gotten the experience at the bot lane. Falstad is now flying in order to deal with the situation. As we have Tracer sitting high in the middle, Malfurion is now slowly making his way over to the altar to channel that one through and get the 4 shots fired, which puts the blue team's score down to 24 points. So, shots fired as we speak, and we have level 13. So this is where it gets real fun. Now the range increase is ready for Stitches. Gets a quick hook, and as he's trying to get the Gorge through, we have Iron Skin from Johanna instantly. Not even debating that. Gets hooked and insta Iron Skin, moving out, not giving them any opportunities here. But it gets dangerous now. Even experience for the two teams. We have 20,000 damage for Junkrat, 27,000 damage for Hanzo. And they collapse onto Blaze in the middle, trying to get a kill. Hook again, negated. Already the Unstoppable triggered from Jojo. Hanzo's now at the bottom of the map, but you can see how the blue team is now more present. Making more of a play on the map itself. Yeah, it's kind of working. Some pressure at the bot lane too. As they're starting to go in on this one as well. And another hook. Dodging that one out so far. So nothing that he could hit here. Falstad. Mega low. Big arrow and the bird gets plucked. That's 1 down, 2 down. Make it a triple, baby. 3 eliminated. And boy, the Gremlins with a nice, clean fight at the bot lane. Just as the objective pops up on the map. But look at that kill. The arrow splash takes Falstad down. And then they're eliminating the rest. And now they can go for the bell tower. And this is an easy collapse here. So this one was beautiful. Beautiful fight from the Gremlins. Bell tower at the bottom of the map has been claimed too. And can they get the double channel? That would be 10 shots fired against the blue team. And it seems like they can. Yeah. Simply is shielding Tracer. Malfurion has done the same at the bottom of the map. And now they're down to 14 points. And we have a level 16 talent advantage also for the Gremlins. So, yep. Here we are. Ooh, Blaze has to bunker up. Junker is at the bottom of the map. There's the gust. The explosion. Slowed. Still following, and there's the kill. They get the kill. Junkrat isn't here, but there's a boss, and they could potentially try and make a play there as well. Tracer is at least thinking about it, and is continuing the play. They're trying to get the boss, and since the blue team hasn't even realized that they're sticking with it because multiple heroes have split off, this is going to be another 4 points fired against Exodia Light. To be fair to Exodia, maybe they actually realized it and just fall down to the bottom of the map in order to take their own bell tower back. But the shots have now been claimed since they were already there, so they might be able to go down to the bot lane in time to still maintain that. Gorge and Jojo still able to get out. Nice plays. Oh, Malfurion! That was a nice play from Junkrat. They nearly killed him for it, by the way. But Malfurion is able to escape, and while this played out, Tracer pushed the mid lane with the minion wave and the Inspire buff on the minion wave and nearly got the bell tower claim too. And Dehaka is doing the same thing at the top lane right now. So they are getting mad value. I mean, look at this. Tracer is coming in again. Here comes the Inspire buff, and that's another bell tower conversion right there. So in the meantime, they get some vision on the mercenary camp, but we have a triple altar phase coming up. And with only 2 channels, that's game. Tracer, by the way, did not quite get the bell tower, but it's super low here. So this is an easy channel right there. That's 5 shots fired. It's single digits for sure. Guys, that's game. What are they doing? What are they doing? Can I not count or can they not count? What? Okay. Alright, they just give up. That's game. The Gremlins win it with a 3-1.